inside the old Woodward No.3 red ore mine. And this mine was opened between 1910 and 1912 and operated till late 1948, early 1949. And solid constructions, those are rail sections and heavy duty timber for the roof support, and that's concrete above. And the mine is sealed up. They blew the mine portal further down below. That's why you've got this big cave in. But they did leave the rails, intact rails. They left them in here. And that is the remains of the water pipeline that paralleled the slope here, because this was a slope mine. And this mine, when it was in operation, went about 1,800 feet deep and went all the way under what is today the Ross Bridge community down in the valley. But stayed in operation for many, many years. Anyway, we were going to take a look at some of the other above ground structures, and just thought we'd come back in here, document this a little bit more. And you can see the steel I-beams that they used. This was a well-constructed mine. Woodward spared no expense in building this mine. So, and you see one of the electrical insulators. So, but anyway, that's impressive. So, all right, and okay, this is the outside of the old Woodward No.3 red ore mine site, and this is the top wall where the compressor house used to sit, and of course the mine entrance is straight down in either one of these two holes, and of course the inside of the mine short ways back was actually blown by the Woodward engineers when they closed this mine. Finally closed this mine in the late 50s. They kept this open after 48 to handle the ore that came out of the Songo mine. So the mine portal entrance was right here, and the tipple started up. It was a long steel tipple, and it went this way, and the ore crusher foundation is down there. Beyond that's the hoist house, and we're going to see if we can get to that. And just over in this direction are the remains of an intact, what they call a cone crusher, iron ore cone crusher. But the compressor house used to sit all right here, and there's some steps over there that would lead up to it. But this is all that remains, and this is a very well concealed mine. You can just see the overgrowth, what it takes to get up here. You can only do this at certain times of the year. But a lot of fallen trees, a lot more dense overgrowth since 5 years ago when we were up here. So, but anyway, the ore crusher foundation and the Woodward Iron Company Railroad is just down below. Beyond that, way down on the side of the mountain, way back in some dense overgrowth, are the remains of the hoist house. So, anyway, and we might check out. There's actually a room in here along this wall. There was a door open. It led to a boiler room. We'll see if we can get in that. But anyway, my buddy, he's down in there finalizing some pictures and some videos I guess he was taking. And we're going to just check out the rest of the old Woodward No.3 red ore mine site. So, all right. Okay, we're still up here at the Woodward red ore mine site, and this is one of these little hidden secrets, that this is an underground boiler right here that was set in place back in 1910. You can see the rough rivets right there. Not sure of the significance of the hoist cable, but maybe it held it in place. But when they put this in here, they actually had to build these concrete walls around it. It's just no telling how much this thing weighs. And you can see the flange pipes right there. And you've got the electrical insulators. They're everywhere. But a lot of the wood is rotted, of course. But this is very well hidden. And it takes a little doing to get back in here. But very interesting, because, you know, it's over 110 years old, just abandoned. And but you got to go through that little hole in the wall where Josh is to just to get in here. You got to crawl along a passageway. But anyway.
Hey, come up. Show the...
Oh, and this is one of the control valves right there. And you can see it was copper, because when copper starts, some of the times it'll turn blue. But that's a release valve for the boiler right there. So this was a water boiler. Had water in it, controlled heat. So sending it upstairs, way upstairs to the compressor house. So anyway, just thought we'd document this. Who knows when all this will collapse one day.
Right, you can see it's already starting.
So, okay, and one last view of it here. All right, I would have hated to have been the guys trying to put this into place.
God, you're not kidding, man.
Yeah. So, all right. Okay, still up here at the old Woodward No.3 Red Ore Mine property on the mine site. And this right here is the remains of the water reservoir. Every one of the mines back then had water reservoir holding tanks for water that was pumped out of the mine. And then it would just be either pumped down into the mining camps or sent somewhere. But you can actually see this is the old rock retaining wall right here that protects the water reservoir. And these are the pipes. And this is where the water was held after it was pumped up out of the mine. So just forgotten up here in the woods on the side of the mountain. There's a lot of other broken down structures. Retaining wall down there, some more walls, but the water pipes, they would come out this way and head down the mountain here. But they built this back around 1910, 1912, when they opened the mine. They had to have a water holding tank, and this was it. So when the water was pumped out, it was sent up here. And when it got to a certain level, you know, they would just release the valves and drain the water down to wherever. So, but anyway, it's a lot of dense overgrowth up here, a lot more than it was 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's really overgrown, a lot of fallen trees and everything. So, but anyway, just another forgotten piece of mining along the mountain. So, okay. Okay, this is some more of the concrete base of the Woodward No.3 ore mine. This is the final base of the steel tipple they had when they first opened the mine and everything. They had a Erskine-Ramsey revolving rotary tipple, whereby the ore cars coming out of the mine, there would be a device that would turn them over. They'd have a train of about 3 or 4, But this right here, just right over there, is where the ore crusher, the Gates or Macaulay No.7 ore crusher would stand. Contents would be dumped down the chute into the ore crusher and down into the waiting Woodward Iron Company railroad cars. But this is what's left of the Tipple, and you can see where they cut off these steel beams right here when they tore this mine down. So, and that's all that's left. The hoist house is further down there in the woods. So, anyway, all right, we'll go check out the hoist house, hopefully. A couple of more things and go ahead and wrap it on up here. You know, one of the sad things about coming up to a lot of these abandoned mine sites that were abandoned back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s is that people came in afterwards because it was still cleared out, and they just used it as a dumping site for bottles, tires, trash. Just complete havoc with trash. But to show you how old that is, a tree is growing up through the middle of that tire. That's how old that tire has been sitting here. So you don't see that every day, but you can just see there's tires, and locals just use it as a dumping site. So, and that is what we wanted to see. That is the cone crusher. So, hopefully get down there without breaking our necks. So, all right. Okay, one of the things that Woodward did when they reopened the Songo mine in '48 is they installed this new type of cone crusher. They had these at the Woodward Pyne mine, and this was a single cone crusher, and the ore came out. It was just another way to refine the ore, get it into smaller sections. But this is the concrete base, and the cone for the ore is right through there. But this is a pretty neat thing. They built this after 1948 to accommodate the ore coming out of the Songo mine. So, and these are some little steps going up there, up to the top of the crusher. But right here is the remains of the Woodward Iron Company Railroad. And that's a neat piece of mining history right here. I've only seen one of them at the Pyne mine. So, take a closer look in there. Just that long berm right there runs right behind the Woodward No.3 hoist house. This is the remains of it. You can see they even left the hoist cable. Just, they didn't even bother to recycle the hoist cable. But this is the basement level. That's basically what's always left of the hoist house, is just the basement. But it was brick, had a massive electric cable hoist, went down, it's about 6,000 feet. The cable hoist was to the loading station underground for the ore. But this is the basement we're going to check out, and kind of still looks the same. So, looks like you're in the jungle.
Yeah. thick. Mr. Tropic is down in the basement.
Down here. I'm a basement dweller.
He's a basement dweller.
Yeah.
So we walk through here.
This is a basement door mains of the Woodward No.3 hoist house. I always built these things to last, I tell you. The stairs would have taken you up to where the hoist was. And you can see when they crushed the top, they just crushed all this on top of the stairs, so there's nothing to see up top anyway. But that's where the cable hoist would have been, but these are the stairs that would have led up to where the hoist would have been. I think there's a boiler over here to my left. Yep, there we go. Thanks, still in place. So, a lot of insulators. It took a lot of electricity to power this cable hoist. A lot of electricity. So, that's the boiler right there. Surprised they didn't try to recycle that. But, okay. And the cable hoist would have been sat down right inside this section right here. And there would have been a man up there operating the cable hoist during his shift. So, but you can see they did a full job of tearing this thing down. So, you see it looks like we're in the jungle here. So, all right. I think take a couple more photos and videos, and this will wind up a good tour of the old Woodward Red Ore Mine site number 3 up here on the mountain. So, all right.